I have shared a video, a YouTube link in chat, and it's a kind of a somewhat famous video. And it's Noah takes a photo of himself every day for 20 years. It's like 11.8 million views. Very, very popular YouTube video. And it's relevant today because I'm going to make a public commitment, which I may fail at. What's that?
To take a photo of yourself for 20 years?
No. But it was my public commitment inspired me to look for this video. The public commitment is I need a haircut. So my public commitment is I'm going to get my haircut. So when you see me tomorrow on lunch break, I should look a lot different.
Wow, what's it going to be?
Just short, somehow short. But I think it's going to be the first professional haircut I get since COVID. So I think Jan 10th, 2020 was my last professional haircut.
Wow.
So
exciting moment.
I've just been kind of doing this army shave thing, like they do in the army. I think they just like use, a razor and kind of clear it all off. I've kind of been doing a modified, somewhat gentler modified version of that.
Yeah.
But then I was realizing because I'm going to make this commitment and because we're going to have video and hence kind of photographic evidence of this, I thought it would be funny if we're still doing lunch break 20 years from now.
Oh my God.
Auto-generate a video like this.
Yeah, like the first 0.5 seconds of lunch break.
We can just grab like a random frame from every lunch break and see if it plays nicely, and then if it doesn't, then we can go back and change find a different frame from any video where it doesn't work.
That would be super funny.
So here's the 20 years of lunch break. And here's Mishti thinking, what did I get myself into?
Public commitment to get one haircut, and now it is turned 20 years of lunch break. Honestly, no. I think in 20 years, we would have gotten Obama by then, like whoever we want. So, who will even be left 20 years from now?
I know, right? What will there be left to do? There's always more to do.
Yeah.
So that is news in my world. What's new in your world?
Well, I just saw that Chris posted a new Google Docs essay that I haven't read yet, but
I'll look
for that to check it out.
Cool. I thought I saw that go by, but I haven't read it yet. One thing that I noticed that I thought was kind of cool is, let me share this link. I signed up for a new beta from, do you know who Gregor Hochmuth? I'm not sure if I said that right. Hochmuth?
No.
Greg Hochmuth. He was an early engineer at Instagram, like in the first handful of people working on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he is launching, or I guess he's built kind of a thing called Friends, which is like a photo sharing app kind of for the modern era, but that has some of the, he sort of says it, it's reminiscent of some of the stuff that that he liked about early Instagram and that he feels like is missing now that that's a scaled service. So I don't know exactly what it is or I haven't used that app yet, but I saw that he's an interesting person. He has an interesting perspective on this. So I signed up for the beta. And as part of my sign up for the beta, I promised him that I would give specific detailed feedback on the app if I get into the beta. So we'll see.
That's cool. I wonder, I'm so curious. Because we are getting a lot of reactions to the same frustrations, and Dispo has been one of them, so I wonder what his is.
I like the point he makes. So I don't know if you saw the thing linked to from that is actually kind of a Substack. And he says, Friends is not OG because we live and share differently than we did in 2010, but many things will feel familiar while others will feel new and more intimate. So I think as a, it kind of feels like he's kind of like, let's recreate the feel, but it's not just like rebuild the thing, like rebuild the feel the way it might feel right today.
Yeah.
Which like much of social software is very like behavioral and, experience, and it's not so, what are the sets of UXs that hang together in just the right way to make this experience feel special and, OG.
Yeah.
Or at least it doesn't have to be OG. I guess some people who use it might not even have used early Instagram, but might feel like it's, good in a way.
Yeah.
I think about early Instagram feeling like it felt very low key. So I was using it about a week in, and I didn't really know many people on it. Most people that were on it, we were not, even if I knew people, I was not connected to them. So I was just like using it as a photo filter.
Yeah.
And I think my first Instagram photo was like a picture of a coffee cup at a Starbucks. I wasn't even trying to show it off because it's not.
Yeah.
You wouldn't show off being at Starbucks. That's kind of lame. But I happened to go on a run with a friend and we were talking about it. But it had this very lightweight, almost the way that we would use Dispo today, or that we would use, like it might make sense in like a Snap. Like I think Snapchat embodies some of these ideas, but obviously there's always new takes on them and stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my little thing. I don't know, sign up for it if you want to. We can play with it.
Yeah, I will. It's always curious to see what kind of. I feel like there's always this pullback, like something starts simple and then becomes more and more complex, and then people are like, there are too many ads on this, and now my network is too big, and I like actually just want my close friends. And then there's like a new app that's like the For Friends version of
right.
the old thing became.
Yeah.
So like, what makes the For Friends versions of something actually stick? Because I feel like there's so many Facebook, but more private, or Facebook, but only for your actual friends or something. Hack projects or side projects that people make and don't necessarily go over.
Yep.
It has to have something else, I guess, similar to what you were saying yesterday, like some tweak that actually leads to like an interesting complexity or like an interesting new behavior instead of just like a minor difference.
Yeah, I also wonder how, the kind of For Friends comment you're making, I wonder how, I wonder how you get like the right unit that feels like private and group-like. And I think it's almost like I think we often conflate like UI with kind of behavior. And really the only thing that matters, it's kind of, I don't need to be dismissive of UI. Like UI is nice, but I think we can overly comment on UI relative to actually solving a new behavior.
Yeah.
And so I wonder what kind of behaviors this, what will emerge here. Like I think this thing that Dispo is exploring around shared albums feels very fresh and new in the way I would like to use photos, but I don't have enough friends on Dispo yet, or the people that are on Dispo who are my friends I haven't found yet, and we haven't connected and created these albums together. So like the shared album thing is not yet working for me, but I don't know if that's because like nobody wants to do it, or it's too cumbersome to assemble them, or but that does feel like a big area of opportunity still. Nobody's unlocked it. Speaking of little behaviors, did you see the Renaissance Collective Slack? The one we talked about? Did you see the emoji stuff we put together?
Yeah.
So the stuff we talked about on lunch break yesterday actually is now live in the Renaissance Collective Slack. So hopefully we can see how that little behavior works, and if people chime in and use it a lot, that'll be interesting and telling. And if they don't, that will also be telling. What's your prediction on that? Do you feel like that's going to work?
It depends on like this first week or two to see if it sticks. So I think if like a couple key people are proactive in using it, like I'll try to use it whenever I see something good.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you're making, is like you need to get momentum with a few people who are going to model the behavior early to like help people understand. I think it has, the thing that I find very promising about it is that it, like a few people's proactive kind of lifting there is visible and seen and explainable to a bunch of people. Actually, now that we're talking about this, it makes me wonder if we should also add a trigger that announces what happened when that emoji is added to the place where it, to the channel where that was added.
And announces, like, I think it is sent to the newsletter update channel, right? Or do you mean?
So there's a new channel that we created where all the data gets sent.
Yeah.
But we could also have a trigger that sends a message to the channel where the emoji occurred.
Oh, like Jen.
Like Jen curated this for the newsletter.
The newsletter emoji or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool too.
Because I think then it kind of makes people curious, like, oh, what happened? What's Jen doing? How does this work?
Yeah.
It kind of like broadcasts the fact that this thing exists, versus right now you can add it and you're just like, I don't know what that means. And then most people aren't subscribed to that channel, so it has like some kind of behavioral misses, let's say.
Yeah.
So sorry, I know we have actually a bit of a limited lunch break today. We're not going to go our full couple hours because we have another session coming up that we want to be in support of. So I wanted to check, should we do a little bit on Chris's new piece?
Yeah, we don't have too much time. I'm wondering if you want to just like scroll through it really quick, and then we can even ask him if he wants to jam on this.
Sure.
Casually on a lunch break.
Yeah, sure.
On Friday. Or it can even be outside of lunch break. But I feel like there's always people on his documents, so it'd be kind of interesting to do what we usually do and be like, live discussion here.
Right.
At the top, if he's down. And then just see what we could propose it to him.
Cool. Okay, let's take a quick overview now then and see what this... So the technology's hidden cost. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Jen gave me feedback that she doesn't like our live reads when there's an audience. She's like, it feels awkward for you guys to be reading that, and we're not sure if we're supposed to be reading or what we're supposed to be doing during that time. And I said, sure, okay. I said, if there were like 1,000 people here, we would not probably sit in silence as much. But anyway, just little piece of feedback.
Yeah. Oh, Grindr preceded Tinder? I didn't know that. Wow. Huh. This is so interesting.
Wow. The Gini coefficient for Tinder is very low. I think it's 0.58, meaning it is not. What does that mean? That means that
it is very unequal.
In terms of who uses Tinder versus who doesn't use Tinder?
Let's see, the bottom 80% of men are competing for the bottom 22% of women, and the top 20% of women are competing for the top 20%
I see.
of men.
Okay.
So like basically women have the power and they want the top 20% of men.
Which I think is an explanation of why Bumble kind of works, right? Because Bumble sort of flips the behavior to make it more focused on women's. I've never used Bumble, but my understanding.
This is so funny. This footnote number 3, guys, unless you are really hot, you are probably better off not wasting your time. People have actually talked to me about this though, and I always laughed it off, but like, wow.
The shadow of disutility. So I think I'm trying to relate this back to the core concept. What is the shadow of disutility here?
The affected parties cannot relocate. So like, I guess for the non-attractive men who are like on the losing side of this, there's no solution for them. Like they can't just switch from being taxi drivers to Uber drivers. Wow, so he's saying this is why like incels is such a thing. Interesting. Huh. Okay, wow, yeah, I really want to read this properly.
Technology's hidden cost. So it's basically, if I were to try to summarize, just to see if I understand this, he's saying technology's hidden cost is that technology empowers a different set of people, which is the narrative we typically use, but also by empowering a certain set of people, it disempowers a different set of people.
And
the disempowered cannot always
become empowered through some other way.
Become empowered elsewhere. Yeah. Which I think that makes sense. I haven't heard anybody really articulate it that way, but I think that makes sense that we always like to use the narrative of pointing to the people who were disempowered who are now empowered, but any leveling of the playing field means that the people who were above that level maybe on average are closer to that level.
Yeah.
It's a disempowering effect. I'm not sure how that works in the kind of the actual Tinder Gini coefficient marketplace. Like, is the proposal that I'm not sure. Is a proposal that like if you were on the winning side of things from an attractiveness perspective before that it's power law. It's not you should have more exposure and you should be a bigger winner now. So I'm not sure who has been disenfranchised. Almost seems like it maybe exacerbates the rich and attractive get richer problem or kind of structure. I don't know. Maybe this needs more than just a cursory glance that we've given it.
I think he's saying that like before online dating, who you could like assess was so much smaller, and like kind of the power is always with the women, I guess, because we are like more choosy or whatever it is. So now when you have moved everything online, the like average guy is way more disempowered because you're competing in the same pool as like top 20% attractiveness.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna try it.
It's just like more democratized, but then there's no way like out of that situation because what would you do? It's just like a new way of slicing or presenting information in the world that's like a little bit more open and less barriers, but that actually is bad for some people in the equation.
Right. It definitely it shakes up shuffles the deck or shakes up the chessboard or whatever analogy you want to use.
Yeah. By the way, here.
What's it?
We should switch.
Josh's?
He just messaged us. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So should we wrap on lunch break and move over to
more on this later? Yeah.
Okay, more on this later. Yeah, and actually, I have. Don't let me forget. I have an analogy I want to work through to explore the. I think it's like the break dancer on the street corner that kind of the effect of YouTube on a local break dancer on the street corner relative to like the best street corner in the world. Kind of similar concept, but we're okay. So we'll pop over there.
All right. See ya.